principals, vice principals, lecturers, professors, associate professors, and all the people, ladies and gentlemen. Today, first of all, I would like to say a very good morning to all of you, and I would like to welcome you in this fourth National Conference of Village of English Writers, BIPS. As you know that Village of English Writers, BIPS was established in 2010, July 17, and it was established under the chairmanship of षकहर. षकहर is the founding president of Village of English Writers, BIPS, and it was patterned by, and still patterned by, our respected Guru, L.B. Chetri sir, a dynamic personality in Chittagong, who doesn't let us stay idle all the time. Similarly, there are other people who have still been tirelessly working for this organization. Let me take the name of our president, the chairperson of BIPS right now, Dr. षकहर, and all other people who have been directly or indirectly working. Sorry, षकहर, I'm sorry for mispronouncing his surname. And all other people and our helping hands, different organizations, as we can see here, they have been directly or indirectly helping us. So principals and vice principals of different schools, teachers, and the presence of today's conference shows that you have believed us, we can say. So once again, a very good morning, and I'm going to give a formal toast to this program. So let me call our President Keshavraj Salise to chair the 4th National Conference of BIPS. Similarly, I feel honored to request Professor Dr. Sarada Thapalia, Vice Chancellor of Agriculture and Forestry University, to come the dais as a chief guest of today's program, Professor Dr. Sarada Thapalia. Similarly, we have our respected Guru, our great Guru, a very towering personality who is going to be awarded today with the Yuvraj Kandil Memorial Award. The dynamic person, although who is about 80 years old, but is still working and working very hard in the field of Nepalese and English literature. And in the past, whenever we were students, we would call him Shakespeare of Nepal. So living legendary person, our Shakespeare of Nepal, Professor Dr. Abhi Subedi, as a distinguished guest of this program. We respect you, sir, from the core of our heart. You are always respectful for us. Similarly, I kindly request our respected Guru, L.B. Chetri sir, another dynamic personality of Chittagong and outside of Chittagong, who doesn't let us sleep all the time, just waking up to work hard. L.B. Chetri sir, our patron, to have a chair. Similarly, here are some of the noticeable people I would like to name, and I kindly request them to have a chair in their respective places. We have our... Similarly, I kindly request Professor Dr. Jiblal Sakota sir, our keynote speaker, to come to the dais. Professor Dr. Jiblal Sakota, a very leading figure who has been greatly leading Central University Campus Kirtipur. I'm sorry, sir. I kindly request you to have a chair. Similarly, I kindly request our respected personalities, our panelists of today's program, Dr. Roshan Seshan, to have a chair in your respective places. Dr. Roshan Seshan, please. Similarly, I kindly request Associate Professor Dr. Kasiraj Pandey. Dr. Kasiraj Pandey, so please offer him khada. So similarly, I kindly request Dr. Komal Phuyal from Central Department of TUD Dr. Pandey belongs to Kathmandu University. Similarly, our another panelist, Bhupin Kharka, our writer, poet, essayist, Bhupin Kharkaji. Similarly, I kindly request Savindra Raj Bhandari from Patan Multiple Campus, Komal Fuyal from Central Department of English TO, Manoj Sapkota from Siddharth Multiple Campus, Dhruva Acharya from Saptagandaki Multiple Campus, Gangaram Paudel from PN Campus TO, Padamlal Bharati from Saptagandaki Multiple Campus, Indravali from Far Western, similarly Tirtharaj Rana Bhat. So these are the presenters. They are going to present their paper today. Likewise, we have our respected guests. So I kindly request Prem Rimal, Principal of Daisy English Boarding School. We have Bhupendra Dhital from New Capital College, Batuklal Tamang from Annapurna School. They are the principal, chief person, and he is the chairperson of Nepal English Language Teachers Association, NELTA. Similarly, we have YB Paudel, our best wishes, a great person who always is ready to help us, YB Paudel from Central College as well as Central Model College. We have Kumar Singh Lama from Bhandara Secondary School. He is the head teacher of Bhandara Secondary School. We have Suraj Shivakoti from Arambha College. We have Kamal Paudel from Ekata Sishu Niketan. We have Rajendra ji from Ratnamitra, Kiran Busalji. Similarly, we have Kulananda Busalji, JB Gurungji, and most respectful people. Likewise, I have seen Padamji from Saptagandaki Multiple Campus. Our respected gurus, IP Sapkota sir is there, Jagdish Chandra Gimire sir is there, and all the legendary people. Although I have right now, as soon as I say, I'll take your name. Today, we are really very much thankful to you to attend this program, and we have some professors and lecturers from different colleges like Balkumari College, Birendra Multiple Campus, Saidi Smriti Campus, Saptagandaki Multiple Campus, Maya Devi Campus, Bhavani Shankar Multiple College, Janasa College, and others. There are so many schools and colleges and boarding schools, and from different educational institutions you have participated in today's program. First of all, I would like to express the thankfulness to your valuable presence in today's program. So before this, as we know that Village of English Writers BIPS is conducting its regular segmental programs or such type of events every year, and we are conducting such type of events, especially poetry reciting and poetry writing programs, essay competition programs, and others. Even in research writing, last year we conducted a program in research writing as well. So we are conducting such type of programs because the primary goal of Village of English Writers BIPS is to lead the people, aspiring people, to foster in the field of writing, especially those who are writing and those who are about to write or who are going to start to write. So you all are welcome in this morning session. So I would like to request Vishwaraj Subedi sir, I kindly request you to come to the dais to welcome all our distinguished guests, our chief guests, distinguished guests, and all other guests. I kindly request Vishwa sir, Vice President of Village of English Writers BIPS, to deliver a welcome speech. Vishwaraj Subedi sir, if you are here.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Chetraj sir, Secretary BIPS, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Sarda Thapalia, BC AFU Chitwan. We are privileged to have you here. Honorable guest, towering figure, let's say godfather of English literature. We are all familiar with him. Professor Dr. Abhi Subedi, Professor Jiblal Sapkota, President, Head of Department, sorry, Head of Department, English Department, Kirtipur. Patron Bhyuchitwan Yalvi Chetri, our respected Guru. And we have got distinguished professors who are going to present the paper for the today's program. We have got a long list of program today, so I would like to welcome you all. A warm welcome to you all. I would like to remember all the teachers, dear participants. I would like to welcome you all to today's program. Hope you will stay till the end of the program. We have got, let's say, this program is particularly dedicated to environment and the safety of the environment. We talk about the interrelationship of the environment and literature also. The earth has given us everything. It is the precious gift given by the nature. We have been provided here water, soil, but unfortunately, we are not doing justice to them. We have forgotten our responsibilities. We are degrading the environment day by day. So, we need to create, as a literary figure, as an intellectual person, our duty is to create awareness among the people for the safety of the environment, for the preservation of the wildlife, because all are the passengers. They have equal right to live here. So literature can be a source of inspiration, can motivate, can guide the people. So the aim, the objective of the program is to arouse the consciousness among the people. I hope we will, let's say, meet the objective. Thank you all once again for your precious presence here. Thank you.
So, Chetsa, respected chairperson of the program, chief guest of the program, and all the distinguished guests and all the participants from different parts of the country. BIPS has organized such kind of programs which enhance the English literature in the country. Though our country is
using English language as a foreign language. It is not our native language. However, it is an international language, and English language is used for the contact language, communication language all over the world, most of the part of the world. And literature is also another beautiful part of every language, and we are enjoying this part today. So I wish a great success of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Batuk sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, respected chief guest, my guru, Professor Dr. Abhishwedi, keynote speaker and former department head of English, Professor Dr. Jiblal Sapkota, all the scholars, environmentalists, writers, youth leaders, and our esteemed guests. Namaste and warm welcome to this important national conference. I feel proud and thankful to speak before you today as the president of this organization, P.U. Chitavan, and the president of this national conference. I would like to express my sincere thanks to my guru, Professor Abhishwedi, who accepted our request for honor, especially acceptance of the honor of Yuvraj Kadal Memorial Award for Nepalese English writing. We have been conducting this type of national conference for the last 4 years regularly. And when we started that trend of national conference in English writing, our former President Ishwar Kanel, he decided to start an award to Nepalese English writing, and from that time we have been awarding those scholars and writers who have contributed a lot in English writing, Nepali writing, or being Nepali writing in English. And I hope this type of trend will go and will continue for years. It is my hope. At this program, today's program, National Conference, we are here. Every year we set different theme for the conference. This year we have set the theme of literature, ecology, and conservation. We are come together to talk about these three important issues today. These three ideas are not separate at all. However, we may think that what is the role of literature in ecology or conservation or preservation of nature, all those things, they are not exactly separate one. They are deeply connected. So we feel nature gives life. Literature gives us language to understand that life. And conservation so far helps us protect both of these two elements, two aspects. Now we meet in Chitavan, and we have been feeling that it is a region where dense silence of the forest speaks louder than the human voice. It is the place where the Rapti and Narayani rivers, they carry the stories older than the civilization, older than the human civilization. And it is the same place where the rhythms of nature still shape the rhythms of our life. This very land reminds us that ecology is not a separate chapter in our life. So it is the prologue. Nature is the prologue, the plot, and the epilogue of our existence where we are. Friends and my respected gurus and friends, today our place, or the earth, or we may call it as a planet, is facing many problems. The air is getting polluted. Rivers are drying, or forests are shrinking. Animals are disappearing. This is not just a scientific issue. It is a cultural and moral issue as well. It is also the literary issue. We don't have to forget that this type of degradation in nature and ecology, it must also be the issue of literature, because literature helps to see the beauty of nature and the path, how the destruction is taking place in nature, and it can show the way how that destruction can be stopped. So we are forgetting nowadays, we are forgetting the voices of nature, or we only talk about the modern progress. We suppose that progress is a modern progress. We forget the songs of rivers and the silence of trees. That is why eco-literature is important today. It helps to remember our duty to nature. Literature is the voice of the earth speaking through human imagination. From the hymns of the Rig Veda, invoking the rivers and the herbs, to Rabindranath Tagore's lyrical praise of forest and fields, or from the folk literature of Tharu communities, they have been staying here from the very past as indigenous communities, to the modern Nepalese writing or English writing. The authors lament ecological losses. One way or the another, the authors are talking, or writers are writing on how and why it has happened. So it means our literary traditions from the very past to present have always been rooted in nature. Therefore, let us encourage eco-conscious literature in every language that we speak. Let us support indigenous knowledge systems and their oral literature that teach us how to live with the land. Let us use storytelling as the tool to rekindle our relationship with rivers or forest or nature, whatever is there. Or let us integrate conservation ethics into the heart of national education and cultural discourses. Before I conclude, I remind you some of the words of one American poet and farmer, Wendell Berry. He said, "The earth is what we all have in common." It means let us honor that common bond where we are, and not only through science and not only through policy, but through the power of words, wisdom, and nature. Let us make this conference, we are here in this conference, let us make this conference a new beginning here. Let us listen to forest. Let us give voice to the rivers. Or let us protect the earth with our words, our thoughts, and our actions. Thank you for being here. May this conference bring new ideas, new hope, and strong friendship for the sake of nature and humanity. Thank you very much.
Chief guest, our Reverend Guru, Professor Abhi Subedi, our Guru L.D. Chetri sir, my colleagues in front of me, and my students, as well as all the other presenters over here. I'm trying to incorporate the basic insights and concepts with some textual evidences, the theme of this conference. First, I will try to define literature, ecology, conservation, and then I will discuss why this literary ecology could not be a distinct academic discipline up to the 1980s in the world. And now, how has this literary ecology has become a very powerful, very impactful literary discipline in the world. Now there are no university in the world where this literary ecology has not been prescribed in a bachelor, master, MPhil and PhD level. Then I will talk about different, we can say, phases of literary ecology. Then I will discuss there are different waves of literary ecology. Zero waves, first wave, second wave, third wave, and then before bidding you goodbye, I will talk about what are the strategies for conservation. I will try to incorporate all these points in my presentation. First, literature. If you see the books by William J. Long, or let's say Andrew Sanders, or let's say David Deutsch, all the definition of literature are there, anthropocentric and androcentric, manavvadi ra bhalevadi. If you see the definition of literature, they say literature is the history and the only history of human soul. This definition. Then see what should be the definition of literature. In the present world, literature is creative imaginings representing the interdependence, interconnectedness, and embeddedness between human world and non-human world. That should be the definition of literature in the present world. Then after, ecology. Ecology is a branch of biology that deals with the characteristics of different beings and the relationship with their surroundings. Surroundings refers to both biotic and abiotic components. That is ecology. There are three types of ecology. One is plant ecology, animal ecology, and human ecology. Plant ecology deals with the characteristics of plants and the relationship with humans and animals. That is plant ecology. Animal ecology, that means that deals with the characteristics of animals and the relationship with plants and human. Human ecology deals with the characteristics of human beings and the relationship with the plant and animals. Three ecologies. And the last term of this theme is conservation. Conservation refers to prevention of the overuse of resources, the natural resources for the commodification, instrumentalization and possession of human being. That is called conservation. This is the, we can say, very brief definition or introducing the key terms of this, we can say, theme of the conference. After then, why this, we can say, important, then another meaning, literary ecology. Literary ecology, it means, let's say creative imaginings as well as critical inquiries. Two things, remember that, creative imaginings and critical inquiries about the representation of, let's say, human and non-human world in any, we can say, piece of work, piece of art. That is called literary ecology. It is a very broad umbrella term under which there comes the philosophy, under which there comes literature, under which there comes critical theory, literary theory, and under which that comes, we can say, literature. These all, and criticism. This all comes under literary ecology. Literary ecology is equivalent to eco-criticism. Okay, this is the meaning of literary ecology. Now, in the year 1917, 2017, two scholars, Ronald Barnett and then Soren S.E. Bernstein, they wrote a book. The book's title is The Thinking University, a Philosophical Examination of Thought and Higher Education. What did they talk about in this book? They talk about two types of university in the world. One is thoughtful university, and the thinking university. Thoughtful university are those universities which talk about the abstract concepts. They talk about only race, gender, class, but they don't give much emphasis on the world, W-O-R-L-D. World for them is not only human society. If you read the theories, like other theories, read response theory, feminism theory, psychoanalysis theory, or other theories, for them, world is human society. But in literary ecology, world means ecosphere. Ecosphere, under ecosphere, there are 5 spheres: biosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere, then geosphere. All these, we can say, 5 spheres comes under ecosphere. Then in literary ecology, then see, W-O-R-L-D, world means, that is, we can say, ecosphere. Then these two scholars opine that in today's university, the university, if they reject this, we can say W-O-R-L-D, in there we can say theoretical imaginings as well as critical inquiries, they are thoughtful university. It is the time that our university, they should deal with the W-O-R-L-D, that means ecosphere. Then these universities are called thinking university. Therefore, let's say thinking university, they have two things: knowledge of the W-O-R-D worlds and knowledge of the worlds, W-O-R-L-D. When knowledge of words doesn't connect with the knowledge of world, that type of, we can say, knowledge will be useless. Therefore, modern universities, they need to be thinking university. The book title I have told you, the Thinking University, Philosophical Examination of Thought and Higher Education. Then see, what happened in the world before the advent of this modern religion. In the world, there was paganism and pantheism. Paganism is nature worshipping. Pantheism means God is everywhere. If God is everywhere and everything is God, the universe itself is a, we can say, manifestation of God. This is called pantheism. When there was paganism and pantheism, the world, there was symbiotic bonding. Symbiotic bonding between human world and non-human world. When this modern religion, they came into exist, pantheism and paganism got, we can say, overshadowed. Then what happened? Then we can say the human domination began. If you read the article by Lynn White Jr., the title is Historical Roots of Our environmental crisis. In this article, he opines that the Christian chain of being, then what is there in Christian chain of being? Let's say human being just below the God. Then human being, the world is yours. You can consume whatever you like. This type of, we can say, concept. This type of, we can say, teaching, instruction. What happened then? The degradation of environment began. Then after, you can say, Greco-Roman civilization. If you see the Greek and Roman civilization, their focus was also then humanism. If you read the Renaissance, Renaissance is also, you can say, focus of humanism. If you see the Enlightenment, this age of Enlightenment is also focus of humanism. Cartesian dualism, I think, therefore I am. Human being is thinking being. Other beings are thinking being. Therefore, we are master of the universe. This type of human focus, that is called anthropocentrism. Anthropocentrism, the focus on anthropocentrism. What happened? There we can say discussion on race, discussion on class, discussion on, we can say, identity, discussion of, we can say, caste, these things. These were focused. But we can say our foundation is the earth. Earth is, that is land community. Land community means a large family where each and every being has equal rights, and we can say then equal rights and survival. Every being, equal rights and shares. This land community, we can say, we can say, destroyed. Therefore, for up to the, we can say, 1990s, the literary ecology could not be an academic discipline in the university. In the year 1990, Professor Cheryl Goldfelty in the University of Nevada, Reno, she started a discipline called literary ecology as an academic discipline. Only after then, now, in the present world, literary ecology has become a distinct academic discipline in the university. Now, there are three phases of, we can say, then this literary ecology. First, we can seeking the image of nature. Image of nature means, if you see the nature and, we can say, women, they are presented in a stereotypical representation. They are backgrounded, they are instrumentalized, they are commodification. This nature was symbolized as, you can say, beautiful object. The objective description of nature was not there. Either we can say deify the nature, or we can say demonize the nature. There was not, we can say, objective reflection over nature. Then another, we can say, phase is recuperative age. Different, we can say, scholar. Although there was no induction of literary ecology as a discipline, but different scholars, they write different books about this, we can say, interdependence between nature and human culture. These, we can say, different poems, different works, they were, we can say, collected, revived. This is called recuperative age. Then third one is theoretical phase. In theoretical phase now, different theoretical insights. These we can say theories related to, we can say, environment, like Arcadian discourse, ecosystem discourse, deep ecology, then ecofeminism, eco-Marxism, then animal studies, climate justice, and all these, we can say, theories. What they argue that, we can say, divide, we can say, by creating binary between meaning and matter, man and woman, nature and culture is questioned. Therefore, all these theory, what their focus is biospherical egalitarianism. It means, each and every being in the universe, either we can say one cellular amoeba to multicellular whale, they do have their distinct, we can say, intrinsic value. Each being is unique in itself. Each, we can say, being is as much important as a human being. This is called biospherical egalitarianism. Okay. Now there are different philosophy. One philosophy by, we can say, Arne Nash. Arne Nash viewed that, we can say, then all in one and one in all. We can say there is a great self, and within the self, every self is, we can say, incorporated. This is the philosophy by Arne Nash. Another philosophy by Leo Alport. He wrote an article called Land Ethics. Land ethics means, land is not an inorganic entity. Land is a community. In the land where we can say soil, plant, animal, human, then they survive together. This is called land community, concept of land community by Aldo Leopold. And another scholar, Paul W. Taylor. Paul W. Taylor, we can say, he wrote a book, Ethics for Respect of Nature. In this book, we can say, he argued that we should have biocentric approach to make this ecology, to make the ecological balance intact. Biocentric means, all the beings, they are equal. Human superiority should be questioned. Each and every being is a teleological center in this universe. Then another we can see scholar from Australia, A.N.O. Whitehead, he wrote a book called, we can say, Nature is Organism. In this book, even he, we can say, argue that, how can we say the soil is inanimate things? If we stop coming to this room for 1 month, automatically life we can say comes from here. Then in this world, the soil, we can say, stone, they do have pervasive feeling. They are interconnected. Then nothing in the world is inanimate. Everything has life. If we stop walking on this highway for 1 month, automatically there we can say life comes. Then how can you say the stone is then say the soil is inorganic? Therefore, nature is organism. Nature has organic quality. Therefore, Barry Cumner said that everything is connected with everything else. Barry Cumner, another scholar. Therefore, you see, this we can say, the literature, our study should be focused on these things. When we can say disregard our foundation is the nature. Our foundation is we can say land. This land is discarded. Only talk about idealistic thing. Then what we are doing? We are dividing and ruling. Only a few powerful capitalists, they are gathering, they are accumulating property of the world. Therefore, what is now there? Now let's say production for possession, action for assertion, development for, we can say, domination. But eco-critic view that production for sustenance, not for possession. Action, not for assertion. Development, not for domination. This approach should be applied. Now, there are 4 waves of eco-critical writing. One is zero wave. Zero wave means, only as I have discussed already, literary ecology was introduced only in 1990 in the University of Nevada. Then from then, we can, another scholar, Lawrence Boyle, he talked about waves of, we can say, environmentalism. First wave, second wave, third wave. Before these, we can say, waves, there were different literature. There were many philosophical books where the interdependence, interconnected nature and culture had been discussed. For example, Atharva Veda. In Atharva Veda, there are 20 kandas. Out of 20 kandas, the 12th kanda is Prithvi Sukta. In Prithvi Sukta, there are 63 mantras are there. Mata Bhumi Adhisthasa, Putra Ekadhisthasa Ethe, Sambhratra Babirdu. In Nepali, Dharti Un Sabaki Mata, Manchun, Sabasantati, Samansamanahu. This type of writing were there before literary ecology introduced as an academic discipline in the university. Therefore, these different writings, they wrote about the importance of interdependence between human world and non-human world. These writings were put under zero waves, the zero waves. And then there is now first wave. The first wave is, the first wave we can say eco-critical writing. What they were, they focused on conservation. They focus on preservation. They focus on population control. They focus on pollution abatement. But again, you see that these we can say first wave critic, first wave writer, their focus again, but then their focus is only, we can say, high class society. The first wave we can say eco-critical movement was elitist movement. There were 3 types of elitism. One is procedural elitism. All the, we can say, eco-critics, eco-theorists, they were either upper class or high middle upper class white people. Then they didn't talk about the problem faced by the poor people. The dumping sites, landfill sites, very huge industries were, we can say, constructed in the area where poor people live. The effect of these poor people, they were not addressed. Then Robert D. Bullard came with the concept that if only talking about, we can say, conservation, preservation, or abatement only for elite class, why don't we can say, our class, people from the color people, minor people, why their needs are addressed? Then he came up with the concept environmental justice. It has 4 components. One is distribution of resources. Each and every resources, they should be distributed equally to all. First component. Second component, recognition. Each and every people, whether disregarding gender, race, class, color, there we can say identity, dignity should be focused. That is called recognition. The concept recognition developed by Nancy Fraser. Another scholar, Excel Honeth, they come with the idea that you can say participatory parity in the decision-making bodies, policy-making bodies, people from marginal class, they should be given equal, we can say, importance. That is called participatory parity. And Martha Nussbaum and Amartya Sen, they came with the concept of capabilities. Capabilities means every individual has certain qualities. In Sanskrit, it is said that amantracham nasti mula usadanam. Means every letter has meaning. Every root has some curative value. Every individual has infinite greatness. But what is the meaning of the letter? What is the curative value of the root? What is the talent of the individual? There should be incentives, opportunities, conducive environment for the same. Therefore, there should be justice. To have a justice, 4 components should be there. That is called distribution of resources. Number 2, recognition. Number 3, participatory parity. Number 4, capabilities. Then there is justice. This we can say second wave is called environmental justice narratives writing. And third wave is new. Now you see the environmental pollution by the big industries of India, big industries of China. Their pollution will not be, we can say, confined within the geographical territory of these countries. Now let's say the environmental effect, the war in Palestine and Israel, the bombarding, there we can say effect is, we can say, come across the world. Therefore, now the third wave, but then they say that environmental pollution is not, we can say, local problem. It's a global problem. It should be globally addressed. These type of different 4 waves, 0 waves, then first wave, second wave, third wave. These we can say waves of literary ecology are there. Now, lastly, now see what are the strategies to be followed. The strategies to be followed are, first one is biospherical egalitarianism. As you know that each and every being in the universe, disregarding their race, class, gender, have an equal right to live and blossom. First one. Second one, there should be, we can say, keeping things whole. You might have read a poem by, we can, Mark Strand. What is there? Human being should move from the center, come to the margin, and then walk hand in hand with other beings. Second. And third one, let's say, interdependence. Fourth one is magnificence. Each and every being are equal. That's called magnificence. And fourth one is conflation. And the last one is sense of environmental peril. If we don't follow these, if we don't, we can then follow these principles in our life, then we have to be ready to, we can say, accept our, we can say, complete, we can say, destruction. Therefore, by conserving ecological balance, we can say, protect self-regulatory system and self-renewable system of the nature. Only then there will be peaceful, harmonious, we can say, existence of the being and thing in the world. Otherwise, we have to ready to accept our then very approaching doom. Therefore, literature, ecology, conservation, they should go together. This much my presentation. Thank you all for listening me patiently. Thank you.
MC sir, Chetraj Subedi sir, respected chairperson, chief guest, distinguished guest, to all the respected participant members. I would like to thank to organizer of the 4th National Ceremony Conference of View Chiton, because really it is carrying the theme of literature, ecology and conservation together. And being the student of literature, I would like to thank to all the members who participated here. Really, already our Professor Dr. Jiblal Sapkota sir, I am very impressed by his words, his theme, because we have to take literature and ecology and conservation together so that we can win the world. I think being the sponsor or supporting hands, member of supporting hands of this program, I would like to thanks to all the supporting or sponsor really who made this program success. And at last, I would like to thank the organizer, because in the last year also, Central College of Vocational Training Private Limited, who is working for the abroad study as well as the trainings, and the Central Model College, who is working for the study in Nepal, promoting the Nepalese education. Because in last year also, these two companies helped this program, but this year also we are being the member, supporting hands. I hope in the coming years also, we will support the View Chiton. Thank you for the time. Thank you, organizer. Thank you.
कार्यक्रमका अध्यक्षज्यू, प्रमुख अतिथि, सम्पूर्ण अतिथिगण र यहाँ उपस्थित सबैमा मेरो हार्दिक नमस्कार। मलाई सम्झना छ पिपुल स्पिक इंग्लिश चेन्ज इन्टु प्यासिभ भनेर आउँथ्यो। हामीलाई हो त्यो बेलादेखि अहिलेसम्म यहाँ आइपुग्दा यति चितवनमा यति धेरै इंग्लिश रुचाउने मान्छेहरू देख्दा म नेपालीको विद्यार्थी खुसी छु। म सबैसँग मेरो अनुरोध के हो भने इंग्लिश हामीसँग एउटा भनाइ छ, इंग्लिश इज नट आवर नेटिभ ल्याङ्ग्वेज बट वी आर ट्राइङ। त्यो पनि सँगसँगै लय हुन्छ। यो मातृभाषै भाषा भनेको एउटा कालखण्ड, यहाँ एकदम विद्वान मान्छेहरू देखिरहेको छु, विदुषीहरू देखिरहेको छु। एउटा कालखण्डमा मेरो सूचना नै समग्र सूचना बन्दैन। सूचनाका पनि सीमाहरू छन्, अवधिहरू छन्, कालखण्डहरू छन्। त्यसैले गया भन्ने ठाउँको नाम छ, अहिले भानुभक्तको कालमा त्यो क्रियापद थियो भन्दा अब अहिले इंग्लिशमा लेख्ने मान्छेहरू। तर मेरो भनाइ के छ भने यो टाइटल जे छ नि, थीम लिटरेचर, इकोलोजी एन्ड कन्जर्भेसन, अब यो भाषा र साहित्य भनेको यो एकदम पुष्ट नितम्बहरूको गीत मात्रै लेख्ने माध्यम हो भाषा। सुन्दरीहरूको अनुहारको चित्र कोर्ने शब्द चित्र मात्रै हो भाषा। ठुला ठुला महलहरूको गीत गाउने र तिनीहरूबाटै पालित पोषित भएर जिब्रो पड्काउने मात्रै हो भाषा। यो जुन सोच छ नि, त्योबाट भाषा माथि उठ्नुपर्छ र भाषा खेलाउने मान्छेहरू माथि उठ्नुपर्छ। यसले आज बर्बादीको निकटमा उभिएको यो धरालाई पुनः धाममै रूपान्तरण गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने सोच लिएको छ भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ। म भ्यू चितवनलाई विशेष धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। मैले अघि भने सर अलि दुब्लाउनु भएको छ अभि सर भनेर अब मेरो फेरि सरहरूसँग पनि भनाइ छ हामी कहाँ एउटा कस्तो छ भने बच्चाले भनिदियो इज ही शेक्सपियर भनेर शेक्सपियर फरक हो बेलायतको राजधानी लन्डनदेखि करिब 90 माइल उत्तर पश्चिममा पर्ने स्ट्याटफोर्डको नजिकमै जन्मिएको शेक्सपियर र अभि सुवेदी जो हरेक देशमा एक एक थान शेक्सपियर हुन्छन् त हुन्छन् कि हुँदैन त्यसो भएर मलाई लागेको चाहिँ अब यस्तो मौका पाएको बेला भन्नुपर्छ के हो अनि शेक्सपियर भन्दैछ मान्छे हुँकेर चाहिँ गर्छ यो पनि हुनु हुँदैन जब यताबाट त्यस्तो भयो भने यता बिग्रिन सुरु हुन्छ अब मेरो स्कुलमा म हुँला फेरि बालकृष्णसम्म हैन एकदम महान विराट विद्वान आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ हुँदै होइन ऊ विद्वान कुनै आलोचनात्मक चेतै नभएको एकजना थाङ्ने कसरी महान विद्वान हुनसक्छ हामी त्यो पनि स्वीकार दिइरहन्छौँ त्यसैले आजको यो गतिलो मौका यति भनिसकेपछि देश देशावर पनि त पुग्छ नि त मान्छे हैन किनभने हामीसँग पुर्याउन सक्ने तागत यी मान्छेहरू जो हुनुहुन्छ यहाँ अगाडि उहाँहरू सुनिने खाले मान्छेहरू हुनुहुन्छ त्यसैले मैले चितवनको तर्फबाट यति भने तपाईहरु चितवनमा आउनुभयो त्यसमाथि पनि पूर्व चितवनलाई रोज दियो हाम्रो भ्यूले र अझ म तपाईहरुलाई के भन्छु भने यस्ता कार्यक्रमहरू त तपाई हामीले नै गर्नुपर्छ कुनै एकजना ठेकदारले गरिदिने कुनै एकजना कुन्नी कसले हाम्रो एलबी सरले भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो यस्तो कार्यक्रममा चाहिँ मेयरहरूलाई प्रमुख अतिथि बनाउनु हुन्न यस्तो कार्यक्रमको आयोजक लगानीकर्ता आदि इत्यादि पनि यस्तै मान्छे बन्नुपर्छ यो नि अहिले भन्नु होला नि त हैन त्यसैले म सबै सहयोगीहरूलाई पनि धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु तर साहित्य साधना गर्ने मान्छेहरू आश्रित नै हुन चाहिँ हुँदैन धन्यवाद
Chief guest of the program, Vice Chancellor of Agriculture and Forest University, and let's award him. I kindly request our chief guest to offer him mala and our chairperson, and let me read. Village of English Writers View Chiton, established 2010, 4th National Conference 2025. Yuvraj Kandel Memorial Award for Nepalese English Writing. The Yuvraj Kandel Memorial Award for Nepalese English Writing 2025 is conferred on Professor Dr. Abi Subedi for his unwavering commitment to promoting English education in Nepal and for his literary creations both in English and Nepali language. His persistent efforts, innovative approaches, and exceptional guidelines have shaped the academic landscape for thousands of students and Nepalese English writers in Nepal and abroad. Professor Subedi's outstanding contributions in Nepalese English writing, translation, theatre work, writing poetry, essays, plays, and short stories, and knowledge dissemination have globalized Nepalese English literature and nurtured Nepali English writers, readers, and experts. View Chiton extends earnest felicitations to Professor Dr. Abi Subedi, a shining star in Nepalese English literature, and wishes him a healthy and happy life ahead. Professor Dr. Sarada Thapalia, Vice Chancellor, Agriculture and Forest University, Chief Guest, Ishwar Prasad Kandel, who is not here today because of some problem, perhaps, founder of the award, and Dr. Kesavraj Chalise, President, Village of English Writers Chiton. I kindly request our chief guest to confer this award. So it's a great moment that View Chiton has got these opportunities to award our respected Guru, Guru's Guru, great Guru, that we are here today with him. So it's a great moment because I have seen my respected Guru, IP Sakota sir and Jagdish Chandra Ghimire sir and even Yalvi Chetty sir who taught me at Birendra Multiple College, and Professor Abi Subedi taught them. So you are the great Guru and I always respect you.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, I would like to congratulate Professor Dr. Abi Subedi sir for this wonderful award. Congratulations, sir. Honorable President of the program, 4th National Conference by Village of English Writers Chitwan, Honorable Chief Guest, Keynote Speaker, the awardee himself, all the distinguished guests on dais, distinguished guests in the hall, and everyone present. I'm very, very blessed to have got this opportunity to speak a few words about Professor Subedi. I'm thankful to the Village of English Writers Chitwan for this wonderful opportunity. So I was in fact thinking of presenting about Professor Subedi in a couple of PowerPoint slides. But as I was exploring through the internet-based materials, YouTube-based materials, the interviews available, I could not narrow down all these ideas that he has shared. I could not narrow down all the informations about him that are abundantly available in the internet sources. And therefore, I finally choose an easy way, that is just using one site, which I will do later, that is Wikipedia. But before that, I would like to just tell you where he was born, and let me start with this. Professor Subedi was born in 1945, that's I think 2002, in Teraktum district. And so it is very interesting to share with you, maybe many of you are well familiar with this, that he is the 21st child of his father and 7th child of his mother. You must have heard this. He has many times shared on different interviews that his father had 2 wives, I think 2 wives, but well, and he is the 7th child of his mother. So what is very interesting is his father, as he was the government employee, got married with Avisar's mother at the age of 46, and his mother then was just 10 years old. So you can imagine whether the then mother, I mean the second wife of Avisar's father, was his wife or child. She was just 10 years old then. I don't know how he considered wife or child. So, but what is very, very interesting again is Avisar's. Hello? Hello? Ali, I think I should narrow down my content because of this technical thing too. So our respected Avisar's schooling began with his own mother. I think I was telling you earlier that his father provided education to Avisar's mother with the help of one Tiwari guru, according to Avisar in interview. And so his mother was herself blessed. His mother herself was blessed to have got education from the very enlightened Tiwari guru. And Avisar's very childhood days, childhood days passed hearing his mother reciting the verses of Ramayana and Mahabharata and so on. So he has said in one interview that his schooling began with Achher lekhera hoina, Achher chinera mero शिक्षा सुरु भयो. This is what he has mentioned, means he did not first write A or Ka, something like this, but he had the schooling with sound system. That may be the reason why he is so expert now. And later he got his education. Let me narrow down. He got his education in English literature. He did his masters in English. He also completed his masters in applied linguistics from University of from Britain-based university, Scotland-based university, I guess, Edinburgh, University of Edinburgh, and later he completed his PhD in English literature, particularly the pragmatics of poetry. And see, he is with us. What he has not done, he has authored so many books. He has written so many articles. For the last 2 decades, I have also been very close reader of his articles. I think in the 60s, I was so desperate to read his each and every column, article published in the Kantipur and the Kathmandu Post. And many of us, I think, share the common feelings. Later, his professionalism, his teaching career began with Panchakanya PK campus, and you can imagine this very romantic man in his youth started his career from Panchakanya, and there were all girls only. So how was the situation? You can all imagine. That may be the reason he could not stay more than 6 months, although he has a different logic for this, but I'm little bit skeptic. And he later went to Patan. He later went to Patan College, where he got the opportunity. I don't think so, but our present top leaders got the opportunity to learn from Abi sir, including the former Prime Minister Prachanda, former Home Minister Kamal Thapa, so many other leaders and other prolific people in the society, politics, literature. They got the opportunity to learn from our very esteemed Professor Abi Subedi sir. So, okay. So there are so many things. In fact, my very small mouth doesn't deserve to speak a lot about Professor Dr. Abi Subedi. So although I can speak for, I think, at least 1-2 hours about him. But let me wrap up this with huge respect and gratitude. Professor Subedi, my huge respect on behalf of Bhu Chitwan and myself. Thank you, sir.
Hello everyone. Good morning, namaste from the inner of my heart. Today's program is a confluence of literature, ecology and conservation. So ecology, as Professor षकहर has clearly pointed out, is nothing more than an interrelationship between living world and non-living world. So I guess it's high time to work more on artificial environment and natural environment, and everyone has been working painstakingly on that field, I guess. Thank you for your gracious invitation. I feel honored and elated, and it's a privilege being here or have been a part of this program, because I didn't think I would ever have gotten this opportunity had Bhu Chitwan not invited me in such an esteemed program, because meeting Professor Abi Subedi face to face this way for me would not have been possible. Abi sir, maybe you are turning the clock back, you are defying your age, you don't look like an octogenarian. So finally, I have to say something about English language. English language has been unceremoniously upbraided by people that it has been a fulcrum to sending the kids out of the country. But I don't think, had there been no great migration in America, there would have been a creation of jazz. Maybe Toni Morrison would not have come into existence, or more precisely, we would not have seen or heard or taken advantage of Mr. Michael Jackson. So, be it a means of migration, let's accept it. Last time, while the other day I was listening to Mr. Trump talking with Bulgarian president, and his remark was, "President, you have a beautiful English." So English, I don't think it's not just a means of language, it's an opportunity in many ways, I believe. So I think this is a day of ecology, so there must be a very close interconnection between English language and Nepalese language also. So please love English language more, and my friends who are professors here who have been working tirelessly in the field of English, please don't use English as a profession only, because there are charlatans, there are I would say quack experts or counterfeit ones who are considering themselves as the chief trainers. So you should better overshadow them, and you should take their place, as they are misguiding our kids. And I always remember what Nelson Mandela once said, if you speak in your own language, that touches, sorry to have not used will, that touches his mind, but if you speak in his language, the one you are talking to will touch his heart. So thank you very much. Once again, thank you for inviting me. And more finally, sorry, I did not mince my word. Have a great day.
Address probably may not. You have to address. I would like to begin by addressing the chief guest, Dr. Charda Thapalia, who was telling me about her academic experience in Japan, where I also spent a year in Japan while I was writing a book about a Japanese monk in Tokyo University. She surprised me by saying that she did everything in Japanese. Kanji is a very difficult language, difficult to write and speak. She accomplished that, and she is a great scholar who is now the Vice Chancellor of the university, Agricultural University. It is a great privilege to be presented whatever honor that you gave me this afternoon. And I have a whole list of names that I have noted down here. I would like to address L.B. Chetri sir, a great friend of mine, though he addresses me in such a way that although I taught him, I never did. I only learned from him. And we have participated in regional literary seminars, met very interesting people, and I have attended programs where he organized, inspire writers, award them, and honor them. There are some people whose vocation is all the time honoring people, making people happy, encouraging people. It becomes, in course of time, a habit. I think that is one of his habits. He has been doing that all the time. And I see my students here sitting, and the first I would like to address my student, the keynote speaker, Jiblal Sapkota. One thing, and then the chairperson, you are the chairperson?
Yeah, Dr. Chalise.
Dr. Chalise is my student. Had a very special communication with him. We talk on the phone. Chalise is a champion of education. Now he was telling us about his experience, about new experiment in Sanskrit University. He is an innovator and father of 2 children who presented a collection of their English poems this morning. And Jiblal Sapkota, whose 2 children are equally very creative and very powerful. The 2 very creative children, their father, Jiblal Sapkota, Professor Jiblal Sapkota, my very dear student and a chairman of the Central Department of English until recently. And one thing you want to share my surprise with you, that when he was presenting the keynote address, he surprised me beyond recognition. His memory, he could cite. It would have taken me a lot of paper to remember, quote, cite, all those things that he said. To cite such sources from memory is remarkable. I think I would advise you to organize a different program and give him a special award for the memory. The memory achievement. That's not possible ordinarily that he performed this morning. And my students who are sitting in the front, you are not my student, but a friend, a Nepali writer, Dr. Eknaran Paudel. Eknaran Paudel and Keshav have a story here. I met them in Palpa. They came to this place as two educationists, and they kept me asking me to visit them, make a presentation here. I could never make it before this time. Now it's a great opportunity for me to come to you. And kind of Kasirad Paudel, Pandey and Paudel, I always confused. I was very confused by people's conversation. He said, oh, we were the Regmi, we were the that Thor Paila, Aile you change there. This morning, since last night, they have confused me so much. A Paudel is a Pandey is Regmi is Devkota, and so on and so forth. So much of shuffling of titles. I never heard so much shuffling of titles. And I call him Michel Foucault because of his head, his bald head, and his brilliant person. The Michel Foucault himself, he did his PhD from Perth, University of Perth in Australia, and he has a very rare combination of smile and anger. It is very difficult to distinguish when he is angry and when he is smiling. Since last time he came into the room 3 times, very angry, but he was smiling.
Male version of Mona Lisa.
Kind of. And then my students, so many names I have noted down here, and would like to. He is my student, Kasari Komal Fuyal. Komal Fuyal is a very talented person. Talented is one word, but his talent lies in kind of breaking grounds. That is what I said to Dr. Shiva Rizal. I love Komal Fayal when he breaks the ground. I attended his seminars. Usually I am waiting for people to break the ground on any topic they take up. Roshan Bhai and all the others who are sitting here, त्यतापट्टि नलागिकन सर्वेन्द्र नि बसेका छन्. सर्वेन्द्रको हेयर स्टाइल चाहिँ इज very now it has become the hit. He confidently told me that people have asked him not to cut his hair and keep it as such. That's why he is walking like that. So every secret, even hairs have secret. So this is, and about the name Uday is here. He is a perennial publisher, and he is doing people good and introducing the people to the world through books and through writings and by organizing meetings and so on. And all of you are sitting here, my students. So the one lady taking photograph. All are students. Wherever I see students. So I should stop naming students here, if you don't mind. Komal is coming from Surkhet. Do you still? कोमल होइन इन्द्र. उनको नाम इन्द्रा रहेछ. इङ्ग्लिसमा चाहिँ इन्द्र लेखेको हुन्छ. And she teaches at the army college, I guess. She still does, and she's a very brilliant lady. She published an interview with me, which is very complicated interview for NELTA. And all those NELTA champions and others, Sadbhavana. यहाँ त अहिले के भने मलाई के लागिरहेछ भने अर्को सद्भावना पार्टी खोल्नु बेला आइसकेको छ. So many people have been donating so much money for educational institutions. अहिले सद्भावना पार्टीका 2-3 जना बोलेर जानुभयो यहाँ. those who have been donating, एउटा यो अर्को खालको नन पोलिटिकल सद्भावना पार्टी खोल्दा हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्यो। त्यसको हेडक्वार्टर चितवनमै रहनेछ। यति धेरै सद्भावना पार्टीका मान्छे हुनुहुन्छ यहाँ, म छक्कै लाग्यो। यो अघि अनलाइन भन्दै थिएँ कति मान्छे यहाँ एजुकेसनका च्याम्पियन। अनि त्यस पछाडि एबाउट द सेक्सपियर वाला, in Stratford upon Avon, two things struck me very much. There is one cottage called Anne Hathaway Cottage, where Shakespeare used to court a lady 6 years older than him, Anne Hathaway. फकाएर बस्दो रहेछ त्यो घरमा। त्यो यसो हिसाब त बुढी फकाउने जस्तै भयो। बुढीका दुईटा माने एउटा श्रीमती भयो, अर्को बुढी नै। She was 6 years older than him. And that फकाउने spot is now kind of immortalized. It's where thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people visit, where he privately, ekantama, he fuck out his this lady. That place is very, very important. And then I visited, not the first time, so many times I visited before, but one occasion I remember, there was a team of university, Surrey University team was also visiting, and there was a big photograph of one pop character, male or female, I don't want to say. And when I visited, I saw the photograph, and I said, why do you put this photograph here, across the very important section of the collection? And I said, why do you photograph here? I would suggest you one photograph. You should take a photograph of me. I come from that part of the world, very far away from here. I've spent my nearly life teaching Shakespeare. Call a cameraman, good cameraman, take my photograph and put my photograph here and remove this photograph. And the Vice Chancellor of the Surrey University supported that. And that is a kind of a Shakespeare. And people call me Shakespeare. The only reason why they call me Shakespeare is not that because I write plays, I write poems, but because my hair is longer. Very fragile, very small excuse just for this hair. They call me Shakespeare. I went to deliver a speech at a science college some years ago, and one student called, यहाँ आज हाम्रो समक्ष Einstein आउनु भएको छ. Einstein also had similar hair. So the focus is on this back hair. I don't know whether this is a Jewish character or not. Both are Jewish. So when people call me Shakespeare, I know this person must be looking at my back hair. And there is one very semantic contradiction, that is, when somebody calls you, gives you a name, you don't know whether you are aware of this name or not, but how this name is projected is not very sure. It's a very interesting question of communication. Are you the recipient or the producer of the name? It is very difficult to say. So this is always fascinates me. When you call me Shakespeare and give a pocket full of money, then okay, call me Shakespeare as many times as you want. There's no harm in that. So it's a kind of a game. To me, it's a kind of a game. It's a fun. Very nice, John. And this question of ecology in nature and literature, म त कस्तो भने म त नेपालीको लेखक हो, अङ्ग्रेजीको शिक्षक हो. So the life is a contradiction. यो आफै लाइफै विरोधाभासको लाइफ जिन्दगी, यो जिन्दगी विरोधाभासको जिन्दगी भने पनि हुने रहेछ. So I always recall the poems written by some of my very favorite poets, like Lakshmi Prasad Devkota. Siddhicharan Shrestha, Kedaran Bethit and Balakrishna Sharma, whenever there comes the question of nature, these poets tremendously made experience about the theme of poetry. Lekhnath Paudel, ठाडै कैलाशदेखि द्रुततर गतिले गडगडाएर झर्दी अनुमट पोइक. He captures the sound in such a way. Amazing. You must have read the poems of Lakshmi Prasad Devkota, Sundari Jal. He captures the rhythm, the flow, the very flow of that Sundari Jal. Siddhicharan Shrestha, Antarikshema Chila Karayo. That's an amazing poem. Kedaran Bethit wrote similar poems. Samaji wrote Agora Pani. These are contemplations about nature, the poets. But there is one other side to it. That is, these poets were influenced to some extent by the English poets also. Samaji, it is, people said that Sama was not influenced by Shakespeare. I disagree. He was influenced by Shakespeare. Shakespeare को बड़ो सुंदर शैली, वहाँले लेख्ने शैली मुक्त शैली, वहाँको बोली यही हो. बोली म निकाल्न सक्छु लेखकहरुका, देवबाकोदेखि लिएर प्रचण्डको सबैको निकाल्छु, किनभने थिएटर मान्छे हो, अहिले चाहिँ गर्दिन. अनि समरले त्यसरी भन्नुहुन्थ्यो. शेक्सपियरको प्रभाव उहाँलाई थियो. अनि काजी दाई, that is Siddhicharan Shrestha, he was also influenced by some poets, English poets. And most of all, the people who still kind of shake me deep down are the English romantic poets. When Shakespeare says Wordsworth says in one of his poems, I heard the sad music of humanity. He goes to nature and then recalls the sad music of humanity. And Keats said that I am always happy, no complaint of the world, even though he was lying down with tuberculosis. He was a patient of tuberculosis. If you go to Hampstead Heath in London sometime, you can see a very beautiful, very moving statue lying down like that. But he was always happy, which the critics call negative capability. To be in diverse, different situations, equally comfortable. Even if you are dying, to die in the midnight with no pain. He even considered death as luxury. So today, when after Jivalal, Professor Jivalal Sapkota, त्यो बोल्दा बोल्दै इन्फर्मल पहिलो नाम मात्रै आइहाल्छ. विद्यार्थीहरूलाई तिमी भन्ने बानी पनि छँदैछ. So he was referring to that. Now, today, the irony of the global irony, the civilization is that people are struggling. Are they fighting the last battle? Are we fighting the last battle? When Donald Trump said, नेपालीमा यता नेपालीमा भएदेखि के भन्थे होला भने मार्दो गोली, ट्रम्पले नेपाली बोल्ने भए भन्थे होला, हिन्दीमा बोल्थे होला, यो इकोलोजी सिकोलोजी मार्दो गोली. I heard that in Nepali when he was saying in English. He and his minister के कोमल थे उसको नाम Kennedy मंत्री, his मंत्री इकोलोजी मंत्री, Kennedy को family को मान्छे हो. And he also says mardo goli to ecology. So if the action of a few powerful people in the world can change the world, change the fate of the earth, then we are living in a time when it is very precarious, very dangerous. Something that is not in our control, something that we cannot predict, like Bhatekosiko badi jasto, kahaबाट आयो. It became mysterious to all of us. Until China solved this, this is the Himtal Futera. So this kind of a mysterious and disastrous consequences will be coming again and again. So this is all I just want to say, because I can go on and on. If you ask, how do I feel like talking on and on when so many students and so many people are sitting here. Who would stop me? Should I stop? That is my question. I just would like to close by reading some lines from a book, poem that the children gave me on the way. His children, son and daughter. After all, what is naming? Shakespeare or nature or ecology? What is there in naming? That's a very big semantic question. Name is not a face, neither is it a head, but it is a grace that does not fade. Each has a name, identity as a person, but also fame, but not built by any mason, a value of its own. The name can be heard, but can't be shown, and is to be known. It is not given by God, neither is it bought from the shop, but it made with labor, Lord, to make things new with hope. Just a word is not a name, neither is it a collection of letters, but it is different from the same, making the world something better. Ecology is just a name. What we do is the main spirit, Atma, soul of that. Let us go after that. Let us celebrate that. There is nothing in a name. What we do is more important than just naming and celebrating the name. Thank you very much.
Ceremony. Respected organizers, esteemed writers, scholars, friends in literature and distinguished guests, namaste and warm welcome to you all. It is a great honor for me to be here today as a chief guest at this inspiring gathering, the 4th National Conference organized by the Village of English Writer. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation to the organizers for creating this meaningful platform where literature meets environmental consciousness. Today, we come together not only to celebrate words, but also to recognize their power to transform thought, awaken awareness, and inspire action. This year's theme, literature, ecology, and conservation, reminds us that art and activism are not separate pursuits. They are interwoven, bound by a shared purpose of envisioning a better, more sustainable world. This year's conference holds a special significance as we gather not to deliberate on urgent ecological concern through the lens of literature, but also to honor a respected figure in Nepali literature, Professor Dr. Abhi Subedi, whose lifelong dedication to thought, expressions, and critical inquiry has inspired generations. The theme of ecology and conservation resonates deeply with the body of work. His reflections often reveal an acute awareness of the fragile relationship between human aspiration and environmental responsibility. In a country like Nepal, gifted with natural beauty but vulnerable to exploitation, we need voices like Professor Subedi's voice that reminded us that literature is not escapism but engagement. His work shed light on the issues of environmental injustice and served as the inspiration for change. Professor Subedi's work reminds us that literature is not written in isolation. It emerges from the soil we walk on, the rivers we cross, and the mountains that shape our landscape. By awarding him today, we are also awarding a vision, one where knowledge, creativity, and environmental stewardship go hand in hand. As we move forward, Let us continue to encourage literary voices that speak up for voiceless, not only the marginalized people, but also the endangered landscapes, the forgotten forest, and the silenced species. Let this conference be a reminder that the preservation of nature and the cultivation of literature are not separate endeavors. They are both form of care for the old and future generations. Professor Subedi has exemplified that through the decades of unwavering commitment to the nature and culture. I offer my heartfelt congratulations to Professor Dr. Abi Subedi, and I thank him for showing us how to write not just with a pen but with a purpose. I would also like to extend my gratitude to all those who are making this event a success. Thank you, and I wish conference fruitful discussions, lasting connections, and continued inspiration. Thank you very much for inviting me as a chief guest. Thank you very much.
Let me assure you that we will manage for 200 participants at least. We are extremely sorry for this time that we cannot manage it here. So now, at last, I kindly request our patron, my respected Guru, Associate Professor Yalbi Chetri of Tribhuvan University.
चित्राज भाई, यस सभा कक्षमा उपस्थित संपूर्ण चीफ गेस्ट, ऑनर्ड पर्सनालिटी अभी सुवेदी सर, मिस्टर चेयरमैन जिब्राल सर, एंड हामी सबैलाई म एलबी क्षेत्रीको तर्फबाट नमन टक्राउँछु। फर्स्ट अफ अल अंग्रेजीको कार्यक्रम हो। अभी सर तपाईले अलिअलि नेपाली मिसाउनु भयो, म अलि बढी मिसाउँछु। There was a program long back, and we were discussing on an essay book, 24 Reel by Bhupin Khadka. Then Kavi Bhupin. Yeah, Kavi Bhupin. 24 Reel. Then that book got award also. When the program was being conducted at Bharatpur Mahanagarpalika office, then it was not Mahanagarpalika but Nagarpalika, there's a big rush. And one of the gentlemen challenged me from outside, LV sir, yesto कार्यक्रम किन गरेको? अब दङ परि के भयो भनेको हामीलाई बस्ने ठाउँ छैन. That was the challenge. त्यो कार्यक्रम पनि त भूपिनको थियो, सबैको भयो, त्यस्तो कहाँ हुन्छ र भनेको थिएँ. आज पनि त्यस्तै भयो सर. म सुमन घिमिरेलाई भन्दैछु, प्लिज यो हल अलि बढाऊ, अलि उता बढाऊ. I was listening, Professor Dr. Jivlal. Honestly speaking, when you were speaking, Angrezi speaking, I was remembering Mahesh Paudel. Your Sabha Kaksma Mahesh Paudel, not less than 4, 5, 6 keynote speeches he has delivered. र म सोच्ने गर्थेँ कि हाउ कैन ही स्पीक सच अ वंडरफुल कीनोट स्पीचेस. आज थाहा लाग्यो महेश पौडेल चेला अफ जीवलाल. हाँ, गुरु एंड चेला बोथ आर सुपर. सर आई क्लैप. र मलाई खुसी के लाग्छ भनेदेखि ईश्वर पाण्डेलाई मैले पढाएको है, ईश्वरी पाण्डेलाई मैले पढाएको सर. यही वीरेन्द्र क्याम्पसमा तपाईहरुले त काठमाडौँमा एमए पढाउनु भयो, जग त मैले यहाँ बसाले हो. ईश्वरी पाण्डेलाई अहिले क्यालिफोर्निया युनिभर्सिटीमा के हो के भिजिटिङ प्रोफेसर के हो. मलाई खुसी के लाग्यो भनेदेखि जीवलाल इज सो ब्रिलियन्ट, किनभने जीवलाल र ईश्वरी पाण्डे काठमाडौँमा क्लासमेट रहेछन्. जीवलाललाई पनि पढाएकै हो, पढाएको हो, उनी अधिकारीलाई पढाएको हो. प्रेम रिमाललाई पढाएको हो, ईश्वर कडेललाई पढाएको हो। एक दिन के भयो भनेदेखि यो द्याट वाज इयर 2010 in July somewhere when so many students came to me and they said कि सर यी चाहिँदैन कि मेरो आवाज आफै चर्को छ सर नेपालीको मात्र यति धेरै कार्यक्रम उदय अधिकारी सबै आए सर नेपालीको मात्र यति कार्यक्रम हुन्छ हामीले अंग्रेजीको कार्यक्रम किन नगर्ने भनेर he asked me त मैले भने ल एकजना और थिए रामहरि शर्मा रामहरि अहिले वो त्रिभुवन एयरपोर्टको ही इज द चीफ नरहरि एयरपोर्टको चीफ के भन्नु सर सरको आशीर्वाद चाहियो मेरो आशीर्वाद हो त धेरै माथि पुग्छ भन्नु त पुगेर देखाइदियो र हाम्रो घरमा जम्मा भयौं कबिडाँडामा व्हाइट कर्नरमा र केही बस्यौं अनि त्यो दिन मिटिङ कल गर्दाखेरि एभर 75 प्लस जगदीश सर सबै आईपी सर बोगटी सर दिलबहादुर बोगटी सर सबैको रूपमा हामीले भ्यू नाम के राख्नु भने भ्यू विलेज अफ इंग्लिश राइटर्स विलेज अफ चितवन इज द विलेज अफ इंग्लिश राइटर्स भनेर नाम राख्यौं अनि मलाई समस्या पर्यो अध्यक्ष को बनाउने भन्दाखेरि ईश्वर कणेल यो त हाक्न तैँले पर्छ भने अनि ईश्वर कणेलले हाँक्यो मजाले हाँक्यो 8 वर्ष 9 वर्ष 10 वर्ष अनि 15 वर्ष भयो सायद 4 वर्ष पहिला फेरि सर अब अर्को खोजौँ के भन्दाखेरि अगेन उही हाम्रो केन्द्रीय कार्यालय कबिडाँडामा एक दिन व्हाइट कर्नरमा बस्यौं र 40 सरलाई यो हस्तान्तरण गरियो 40 सर व्हेन यू केम यू चेन्ज द मोडालिटी यू चेन्ज द सिनारियो किनकि हामीले कबिडाँडाले विगत 10-12 वर्षदेखि त नेसनल इन्टरनेसनल कार्यक्रम गर्दै आएको छ आज चितवनमा भ्यूले पनि नेसनल कार्यक्रम गर्दै आएको छ र यो स्ट्यान्डर्डको गर्दै आएको छ यसको लागि ताली बजाऊ My association with Professor Abi goes back to my entry into university teaching zone in BS 2044. Then I was a part-timer, tiny teacher. And तपाईले अघि भन्नुभयो नि तँलाई त पढाएको होइन पढाएको हो सर Let me remind you म सञ्जीव उप्रेतीको ब्याच हो सर अरुण गुप्ताको ब्याच हो भयो के भने म त यहाँ पार्ट टाइमर टीचर नाम सुन्थे कमल प्रकाश मल्ल अभि सुवेदी दुर्गा भण्डारी श्रीधर लोहनी अनि रामेश्वर बाफरे मेरो दिमाग कन्ट्रोल हुन्थ्यो को होलान् तिनीहरू देख्दाखेरि कस्ता लाग्लान् गरेका कि यस्तो गरेका कि मैले त पटना विश्वविद्यालयका प्रोफेसर दिल्ली देखेको थिएँ नेपालका जाइन्टहरू कस्ता होलान् भने सर पार्ट टाइमरको टिचर जम्मा 16 रुपैयाँ प्रति पिरियडको पाउने 2 पिरियडको 32 रुपैयाँ मेरो तलब थियो त्यो 32 रुपैयाँमा पनि 5-7 रुपैयाँको टिकट काटेर म वहाँ पुग्थेँ सेन्ट्रल डिपार्टमेन्ट पुग्थेँ नि त म कीर्तिपुर पुगेँ अनि त्यहाँ कसको क्लास छ अभि सुवेदीको म मात्र होइन उनीहरू पनि आफूले पढाएर आएपछि अभि सुवेदीको क्लास लिन्थे अनि म पनि उनीसित खुसुक्क गएर पछितिर बस्थेँ यु नो द रिजन वाज आई वान्टेड टु लर्न हाउ टु टिच आज मैले चितवनमा पढाउँदाखेरि राम्रो टिचर भने राम्रो टिचरको जो मैले सिकेँ उहाँहरूबाटै सिक्या हो श्रीधर लोहनीबाट सिक्या हो अभि सुवेदीबाट सिक्या हो अरू पनि धेरै कुरा सिकेँ अलिकति पानी ल्याउ त यहाँमा पानी हुन्छ के भने हुन्छ एकछिन हुन्छ के भने पनि हिजो मात्र एउटा कवितामा अलिकति हेमन्त गिरीको कवितामा अलिकति विवाद हो मेरो वी आर लर्नर के अनि मैले रोशन शेरसनसित कुरा गर्दै थिएँ नेप त हामी होइनौँ त सिक्ने प्रक्रिया कहिले एन्ड हुँदैन त्यसले घमण्ड गर्छ कि मैले सबै सिकिसकेँ आई एम पर्फेक्ट हि इज ब्लडी इडियट वी आर नेभर पर्फेक्ट We are always advancing towards perfection, but we will never become perfect. हो सर पर्फेक्ट त कहिले भएन त विश्व सुवेदीलाई त बनाइयो नि त आज प्रेम रिमालले आएर यहाँ च्यालेन्ज गरेर बोलेको सुन्नुभयो ए सर 44 सालमा मैले सिकाएर हो यसरी बोल्न पर्छ भनेर बिउ वृक्ष हुन्छ त्यसको असर रहिराख्छ या आई एम सीड मेकर मलाई यहाँ बोल्नको लागि भनिएको थियो कि अभिष्वविधिको बारेमा प्याटर्नले बोल्नुहुनेछ भनेर मलाई दङ परे। अब अभिष्वविधिको सारमा के बोल्ने लौ भनाउन भनेर फोन गर्दै सोध्दै गरेँ, सर 2-3 पोइन्ट लेख्नुहोस् त भने। अभिष्वविधिबारे अङ्ग्रेजीमा मात्र बोलेर पुग्दैन सर, तपाईँले नेपालीमा पनि अलिकति भन्नु होला। अरे के भन्ने त भन्दाखेरि कविता, नाटक, निबन्ध, सैद्धान्तिक विवेचना, समालोचना, अनुवाद सब उहाँ माहिर। तेस्रो आयामको पहिलो आधिकारिक व्याख्याता अभि सुवेदी, हिप्पी आन्दोलनका लागि जोडिएका कवि, नेपाली आधुनिकता र उत्तरार्धका विश्वसनीय व्याख्याता, पाश्चात्य सिद्धान्तलाई गम्बेसीका अनुहारसँग जोडाउने, पढाउने, बुझाउने गुरु। उहाँ के हो हो त उहाँ के हो र साथसाथमा यो भ्यू के हो भनेदेखि उहाँ जस्तालाई हामीले चिताउन बोलाउँछन् र यो हल अझ सानो पर्छ, हामी त्यो हो फेरि। Professor Subedi, we were together in Kabinada, where you jokingly once declared my house white corner as over oxidized, and that clinging to Kantipur Patrika. LV को घर में तो ओभर ऑक्सीडाइड भने यहाँ सांस लिन गाह्रो भयो भनेर he phoned his son, किनकि हाम्रो घर जो छ कबिनाडाको तो 7 कट्ठा बुटाले घेरिएको छ। थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच, ही रिमेम्बर्स। एक दिन त्यहाँ बसेका थियौँ, एक दिन होइन सर 2 दिन बसेको। टुडे BU has honored you means यो मेरो र म्याडमको मिल्यो नि, सोर्स एउटै हो कि? Today we have honored you, Professor Ravi Subedi, means we have honored the ideals you stand for: intellectual integrity, literary excellence, and cultural openness. On behalf of you and my capacity as its patron, I offer my heartfelt congratulations and deepest respect to you, Honorable Sir. Honorable sirs and friends, thoda sa bit mano. Honorable sirs and friends, every year we are having such programs for literature, language, and cultural thought. This year we have chosen theme like literature, ecology, and conservation. We remember, Abhi sir, once you said somewhere, Sahitya keval saundarya ko khoji hoina, yo samay ko sachi pani ta ho. How fitting this is, especially as we reflect on today's theme. Literature, at its core, is the reflection of human consciousness, and when that consciousness is in harmony with nature, it produces voices like of William Wordsworth, who reminds us, come forth into the light of things, let nature be your teacher. Yes, profoundly we say, this theme, literary, ecology, and conservation, whoever selected, we are honored to have selected this topic to discuss today. And we are honored to have a keynote speaker like Jiblal sir. Wow sir, again wow. Sabai seminar त्यही सिद्ध्याइदिए पनि हुन्छ हो, यति आयो र प्रत्येक वर्ष यस्तै keynote speaker खोज्नु पर्छ है 40। Today, we have papers, panel discussion, and poetry recitals. To all the participants, poets, panelists, and presenters, thank you for being part of this collective effort. Let us hope that, through programs like VIEW, we continue to nurture a generation of writers, readers, and thinkers who find in nature not only beauty, but a shared responsibility. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.